for hosting this event and also collaborating with us on this poll. I think the thing to keep in mind as you're thinking about this poll is polling in Iran is not like polling in the United States. It's not something you can do with ease. It's not something that happens every day. We can't run in right before the elections and get a kind of a temperature that we would normally do in the United States. It is a closed society. It is an authoritarian government. And most polling there is monitored by the government. So when you read about a poll coming out of Iran, ask whether it's an independent poll, ask whether it's uncensored, or ask whether it's covered by the Iranian government in one form or another. If it is, I would greet those results with skepticism. Our poll, when it was taken, shows that the incumbent president, Ahmadinejad, is in the lead. But more importantly, perhaps, than that, what it shows is that the Iranian people are very far removed from the stereotypes that are commonly asserted in the United States and the West about them. They want a democratic future. They want a free press. They want open elections. They want to be able to choose in a democratic vote their supreme leader. And these hold regardless of whether they're supporting President Ahmadinejad or not. So there is no mandate here for belligerence. There is a mandate for better relations with the United States. This is our third nationwide poll in Iran in the last 3 years. So these findings have remained consistent from poll to poll. Let me begin with a PowerPoint, and we'll go through this. First of all, I urge you to consult the full poll results online. And we have the methodology laid out online in great detail and in a quite transparent fashion, actually. This is a telephone poll of Iran. Telephones are, it's a modern society, and telephone penetration in Iran is plus 90%. I'm sure you can't read this, but on our website it's laid out, and you can go to the Washington Note or New America and get the same results. The horse race. Our poll shows, when it was taken in May, when the campaign began, that President Ahmadinejad is in the lead with 34%, followed by 14% for his closest rival, Mir Hussein Mousavi. 27% of our poll said they don't know. Of that 27%, 60% of those, more than 60% in fact, are people who want reform of the Iranian political system. So I would say that these results probably overstate President Ahmadinejad's lead, that it's probably a lot closer because a significant portion of the don't knows may go into the Mir Hussein Mousavi or possibly even Mehdi Karroubi's camp. Now, the Iranian system is such that if no one breaks the 50% barrier, there's a runoff between the two top contenders. Indeed, this is what happened in the last Iranian presidential election in 2004, when Rafsanjani and Ahmadinejad ran in a runoff. Given the sizable don't knows in this, that we would think that probably a runoff will be likely. The other thing to point out is that no incumbent president has ever lost re-election in the Iranian Islamic Republic since it was formed. So that is something to remember.
Can I just ask clarifying about there's a missing 22% on this chart.
There's 15% refused to answer this question.
Okay.
So that's the missing number. And we did an analysis of those who refused, and they broke almost evenly between regime supporters and regime opponents, broadly speaking. But the don't knows, 27%, did not break that way. 60% broke. From other questions, we would put them in the reformist camp. But that doesn't mean they'll vote. I mean, they may be, that we can't measure, and that's why we can't.
It's good to know. I just wondered if there were just an endless line of other.
No, that's it. The other thing that's interesting from a sociological point of view is that Mr. Mousavi has tried to draw attention to his Azeri background. Azeris are the largest ethnic group besides Persians in Iran. They're about 20 or so % of the population. Anyway, he's run on this and tried to draw support from his ethnic identification. In our poll, that's not working. We found that only 16% of Azeri Iranians said they would vote for Mr. Mousavi, as opposed to 31% who said they would vote for Mr. Ahmadinejad. Iranians are fairly positive about the elections. 89%, this is not on the slide, said they will cast a vote. Compare that with our percentage in the United States, that's quite high. About 7 in 10 Iranians said they think the election will be free and fair. Only 1 in 10 said they thought it would not be free and fair. And most, as you see from this chart, are satisfied with the choices that they've been offered. Very significantly, 77% of Iranians said they favor a system of government where they can vote for the supreme leader and all leaders. The supreme leader is the one with the ultimate power in Iran. And the Iranian people realize that because we asked them about that, and I'll get to that later. But only 18% oppose the current system of government in Iran where they cannot vote for the most powerful official in the country. So almost 8 in 10 Iranians want to hold the most powerful official in their country accountable to the voters. And he is not held accountable now. What does that tell you? It tells you that the priorities that the Iranian people have, the economy is number one, unsurprisingly so. But look at this, much more interesting. Ensuring free elections, ensuring free press are virtually identical in numbers. I wouldn't draw any conclusions from the couple percentage points that separate it. The top 3 priorities Iranians have, ensuring free elections, ensuring free press, are almost as much as the economy itself. That tells you that the hunger for a more democratic system in Iran extends to all Iranians, whether they support Ahmadinejad, they do not support him, whatever their stripe is, they are hungry for a more democratic system. They are also hungry for Western investment and humanitarian assistance to Iran. Now, clearly the issue